Welcome back, guys. It's Bullet Catcher Gaming, and today we're taking a look at the Division, and we're actually the Division 2. So join me, Furibundus, and we'll have a look at what we think we're going to get, what we know we're going to get. Maybe talk about what we've got near the end and if we're entirely happy with it. So, take a moment, tickle the like and subscribe, and we'll get on with things. First of all, we're going to take a quick look at the missions. And then we'll go on to look at some more details. So what exactly are we going to get, especially those that are more of us in the PvE and all that kind of thing? Well, for us, there's two new main missions. And as we know, they'll be taking part on Coney Island. Coney Island, guys. The idea of this new DLC is so that we can go to Coney Island and we're looking for a scientist. This scientist has got the cure, or if he hasn't got the cure, he's got something that's going to help us get the cure, because we don't want the thing to finish too soon. If he's got the cure, it may be a problem, so certainly something that's going to help us. So we've got two new main missions looking for that, guys, and anybody can do that. You, me, everybody. It's available to everyone. Those of us that have invested 30 odd quid of our own money, what do we get? Well, we get, or rather they, I should say, two classified assignments. Yeah, that's two classified assignments for the Year 1 pass owners. I've never played a classified mission, so I couldn't tell you if they're really worth it. And of course, there's a new specialisation. The new specialisation, we've got a gentleman with a flamethrower, but we're going to talk about that in a little more detail in a moment. And there's a new exotic weapon that's available to everybody. And the new exotic weapon, guys, I believe, is the honey badger. Now, talking about the weapons, as I mentioned, there's the honey badger. Now, that's a standard weapon available in the game, and that looks to me to be an adapted assault rifle of some sort. Could be an AR-15 frame. I'm too up on my weapons. There is an exotic, a new exotic I should say, available called the chameleon. That's an assault rifle, although the image looks to me to be similar to that for a Vector, but with a drum magazine. And that features some pretty stonking adaptive talents. Multiple hits to different parts of the body, giving you incredible critical hit damage multipliers for periods of time. Things like 30 headshots gets you a 20% increase on critical hit chance and a 50% critical hit damage for 45 seconds. Goes on 60 body shots, I think it's 30 leg shots, all of which are definitely worth having, providing you're good with your aim, of course. There's a small advantage to having it holstered, giving you a small weapon advantage, but I don't think that's really going to make much of a difference to the game. As I mentioned, there are the two new classified assignments. So for those of you that have got it, got the year pass, you've got detention centre rescue and nightclub infiltration. Now, most people, of course, not going to say most people, everybody's playing the game, are going to be interested in the new specialisation. They call that one firewall. And I think it's to marry up with the cleaners on Coney Island, of course, because we'll be coming back in touch with the cleaners from the first game, and everyone will remember those flamethrowers we all loved so much from the first game. So, the firewall specialisation, guys, it is giving you a flamethrower, of course, and the concept, the basic idea as I understand it, is that you need to get up close and personal. You can't stand back, as we all, some of us like to do, especially if you're into sniping. You've got to get right up in there. You're looking at a range of around about 15 meters, and the weapon that we'll all be using is the K8 Jetstream. That's going to be our signature weapon, guys. So you can look forward to getting up there, getting in their faces with your new K8. The skill variant for the firewall specialisation, of course, is going to be largely aimed about being able to get in close. You're going to be able to use a shield. This shield is going to be able to take a lot of fire, and you'll be able to deal damage with it. So you'll be able to use it as a close combat weapon, I understand. If you're using the firewall tactic, you'll get a team buff, of course. 10% damage buff to all team members that are within 10 meters of you. So not only have you got to be pretty close to the enemy, you've got to be close to your buddies. And a 50% armor bonus to your teammates when they're moving from cover to cover, providing, of course, they're within 10 meters of you. So I can't see that really coming in too handy, but there we go. Your damage talents, fiery response. If your armor breaks, you can apply burn to enemies within 5 meters. So if you're getting flanked, you can use that, of course. There is a support talent, frontline recovery. 10%, 20%, 30% health on kill. That's support, of course. And the handgun you'll get with that kit is a double-barreled shotgun. Again, you need to get in close and deliver those shotgun shells right up close. The shotguns will feature a new shell, a primer round, and this will help them lose their burn resistance for 5 seconds, which again could come in handy with the flamer. Okay, going on, we're going to have a quick look at the special field research. So, just like the other specializations, to really help you along, you need to take part in specialised field research. And so there are five stages to this. In-game challenges that each of them have their own objective, so they'll each be separate, obviously. When you've completed those, you'll unlock access fully to the firewall specialisation, and you'll have the K8 Jetstream flamethrower. All of those you need to take part in 5 stages to the in-game challenges, guys. Okay, and that is pretty much everything I know so far about the episode 3. I'll be absolutely honest with you guys. But seeing the episode 3 trailers, I thought, it's got my juices flowing. I'm going to get back in the game, see if the old muscle memory will kick in. So I booted it up and was fairly curtly reminded that I hadn't played Division 2 for something like 108 days and 3 hours or something. They were pretty precise about it. Got back into it very quickly, noticed a few things. Now, I'm not sure if it's rosy tinted goggles, but to me, the graphics seem worse. The fill-in seems a little worse than I remember. Couple of times, this is over the space of 2 or 3 hours, a couple of times I was looking through streets, could see clear through them. And the thing that really bugged me, and that happened straight away, to be honest with you, is that as I ran from my start position towards a control point, as I thought a few control points would get the fingers back into pressing the right buttons and whatnot, I kept hitting invisible walls in between areas. Invisible walls. And if there was an enemy on the other side, they could shoot through the invisible wall and hit me. I couldn't shoot through the invisible wall. I couldn't throw a grenade through the invisible wall. And it was like I had to wait several seconds, and in some cases 10, 12 seconds for this invisible wall to come down, and then I could move on through it. In honesty, I think that happened to me a dozen times. Now, maybe it was because I was running about from one place to the other, and that's why I was particularly aware of the fill-in. But I'm sure that both the fill-in bit was worse than before and the invisible walls. And it surprises me that still 108 days or whatever it is since I last played it, these issues are still there. And of course sound. Every time there's a big explosion, my shotgun would turn into a pea shooter. Although I would say it wasn't only when there was explosions, but it was particularly noticeable. Now, I wondered briefly if that was meant to represent my hearing being affected by the explosion, but as I said, it wasn't just when that happened, but particularly it did. So there were three big issues that I noticed as a returning player. As I said, nearly 4 months since I last played it, having completed the first stage of the game. And disappointing, really disappointing. Let me know in the comments if you experience these problems, guys. If you can tell me what's causing them, would be even better. Because let's face it, I like to know these things. Or any other comment, any other things you might have to say, whether or not it's just to tell me I'm a bit limp for not having played the game for 100 and odd days. Thanks very much, guys. Thanks for listening to me babble on, and I'll be back later, either with more Witcher or with more Division 2. Thanks a lot.